This is Dream Cove.
Every morning at 5, before the streetlights gave up their glow, old Samuel Hart pulled the first loaf from his oven, wrapped it in brown paper, and set it on the third step outside his bakery, not to sell, but to give away. He never watched to see who took it. He simply turned back inside and began the day's real baking, as if the loaf were nothing more than habit. The neighbors noticed, of course. Some said it was for the widow 2 streets over. Others swore it was for the boy who slept behind the laundromat. Samuel never confirmed a single guess. When asked why, he only said, "Some debts don't need an audience to be paid." For 31 years, the loaf appeared every morning. Rain or snow, holiday or heartbreak. Even the week his wife died, a neighbor found it already wrapped, because Samuel had baked it the night before, unable to sleep anyway. His daughter, Clara, grew up watching this without understanding it. As a girl, she once asked why he never let the town know it was him. Kindness with a name attached, he told her, starts to look like something you're owed thanks for. I wanted to simply exist, quietly, like breathing. Clara moved away for college, then work, then a life of her own, 3 hours north. She called on Sundays, visited on holidays, and never asked about the loaf again. Samuel passed away quietly in his sleep one October, 3 days before his 78th birthday. Clara returned to close the bakery and sort through decades of flour-dusted ledgers. It was in an old recipe tin, beneath a folded apron, that she found the letter, yellowed, dated 31 years earlier. In handwriting she didn't recognize. "Mr. Hart," it began, "you don't know me, and you never will. 3 nights ago, I stood outside your window, starving, having lost my job and my home. I told myself I'd ask you for food in the morning, though I doubted I'd have the courage. I never had to ask. There was a loaf on your step at dawn, still warm. I ate, and for the first time in weeks, I believed I might survive the week. I found work 3 towns over the next month. I never learned your name until a stranger mentioned the baker who leaves bread for whoever needs it. No questions asked. I only wanted one person to know what that loaf meant, and to ask you never to stop, because somewhere out there, tonight, someone else is deciding whether tomorrow is worth waking up for." Clara sat in the empty bakery a long time, the letter trembling in her hands, understanding at last what her father had spent 31 years quietly protecting. The next morning, before the streetlights gave up their glow, Clara pulled the first loaf from her father's oven, wrapped it in brown paper, and set it on the third step. She never watched to see who took it. Some habits, she realized, were never habits at all. They were promises, kept quietly, one warm loaf at a time, for as long as the world kept needing them.